Agricultural income is an income which is earned by the people for cultivation of lands in the rural places. According to the canon of equity, the burden of taxation must be distributed equally or evenly among taxpayers. When there is an economic boom, the income tax rates are increased, while in the times of recession, it is reduced. In this way, the Act maintains control over cyclical fluctuation of value of money. Warm welcome to Fifth Sem becomes the subject we're discussing income tax law and practice 1. In unit 1, we are discussing about assessee person and assessment year previous year in our previous sessions. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the principles of taxation made by Mr. Adam Smith. I'm Professor Rajesh L.R. from Department of Commerce and Management from Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. In the previous session, we had a discussion about the person according to Section 2, Subclause 31. Who is a person? An individual, HUF, joint stock company, a partnership firm, association of person, body of individual, local authority, and artificial judicial person. Whenever they ask you, people define person according to Section 2, Subclause 31, we have to write all the points. Assessee. Assessee is a person who has received directly or indirectly the income from different sources, so who is eligible to pay tax to the government. Agricultural income is an income which is earned by the people for cultivation of lands in the rural places. In today's session, we are going to discuss canons of taxation is nothing but the principles of taxation. What was the main objective of Income Tax Act 1961, the features of income tax and the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961. As per Adam Smith, he propounded 4 principles of taxation which made the government as well as for the taxpayers very much supportive, and which made the taxpayer to feel that when it is not burden for him. So which are those 4 principles of taxation or canons of taxation made by Adam Smith? The first one we have here, the canon of equity or equality, the canon of convenience, and third one, canon of economy and canon of certainty. These are the 4 principles framed by Adam Smith. So he's saying that when the equality should be given for all the taxpayers and it should not be a burden on the taxpayer. Means the person is earning whatever the income equal to the income what he earned. On that income, the tax has to be collected. Economy, convenience, and certainty. So now, all the principles are supporting for both the taxpayer and the government. So totally we have 10 principles of taxation or canons of taxation: equality, certainty, convenience, economy, elasticity, productivity, verity, simplicity, expediency, and flexibility. These are the 10 principles what we have as per the Income Tax Act of 1961. As I said that, according to the canon of equity, the burden of taxation must be distributed equally or evenly among taxpayers. I think that whatever the amount of tax to be collected from the public, that should be divided equally and according to the income whatever they have earned. Certainty. The tax that an individual must pay should be certain and not a burden. According to Adam Smith, he said that when tax liability should be apparent to the contributor and everyone. They're saying that when it should be, tax should be collected in such a way that when only for the certain purpose for which the tax has to be collected, for not for all the concept whatever they're getting source of income here. Canon of convenience, tax should be imposed and collected in such a way that it must convene for both the taxpayers and the government. So make some convenient concept here where the taxpayer should not feel that it's a huge risk on his shoulder and why I have to pay? Why only I have to pay that one? He should not feel in such a way that one. Make convenient concept for them that how they can pay the tax and what are the benefits can be given to the taxpayer and even the benefit for the government also. Next, elasticity. Canon of elasticity is nothing but every important to modern economists. This canon indicates that tax yield should be flexible or elastic. Whatever the tax you're collecting, it should be very flexible, and it should not be a imposed concept for the people who are paying the tax to the government. And if there is a flexibility, instead of collecting the tax at one shot, make it to collect on monthly basis or quarterly basis, or support them. If you're going to pay tax earlier, it'll be get benefited for that one, or giving some other benefit for the taxpayers in such a way of deduction. Disclose your income and just get that one. The tax should not be paid here. Means whatever you're earning income, for that, if you've made any savings or any concept you have made for the future aspects, that will be allowed as a deduction from your income. So make it in such a way that it should be very flexible at the time of collecting tax, and it should not be burdened. Like, for example, if I'm earning 1 lakh, where I have to pay the 90,000 tax. So normally the people will never disclose their income, because if I earn 1 lakh and if I'm going to pay 90,000, that is not flexible here, and it is not convenient for the taxpayers here. Whatever the income he has earned, just calculate, and then what are the benefits can be given for him, that should be given, and what type of deductions can be given, or the standard deduction, whatever we have here. After providing that one, what is his total income and how much tax should be collected and how the tax should be collected, and what are the things he can do while paying the tax to the government. Canon of productivity. According to this principle, the Charles says that, in well-known classical economist, the subject of public finance, taxes must be productive, cost-effective. This indicates that the revenue generated by any tax must be substantial. Whatever the government is going to collect tax from the public here, that should be according to the requirement for the needs of the society, and it should not be above that one, and it should be more cost effective. Means here it should be used only for the certain key things only for what the tax has been collected, and whatever you're collecting, it should be equal to your requirement, and the public should not feel burden on their shoulders. Taxation must be dynamic. Means according to the required environment, it should be changed, or according to this environmental changes, the tax structure should be changed. Then only the taxpayer will be more flexible to pay the tax to the government here. Key of simplicity is that every tax must be straightforward and understandable to the public, so that the taxpayer can calculate it without any assistance of tax professionals. He's saying that the principle is in such a way that when if I want to pay tax, it should be very simple for me to understand how much income I'm earning and what are the benefits I've received. What is my actual total taxable income? On this income, what is the amount of tax I have to pay? So it should be very simple. Each and every common person should be understandable in such a way that one he should not feel at any fraction of time the burden on his shoulder. Canon of expenditure. Tax should be beneficial so that the government may defend itself against public criticism by arguing for its needs. So they're saying that when it is nothing but here, the amount of tax what you're collecting, it should be according to the required purpose and the need for the society. Flexibility. The canon of flexibility states that the entire tax system should be flexible enough to allow taxes to be readily increased or decreased in response to government requirements. If the government requires more, according to the requirement, the funds can be collected or the tax forms can be changed here, or if it is required less, it can decrease the collection of tax from the public here. This is the concept what we had, the principles of taxation. Go through that one, understand properly. Main objective is price stability. The Income Tax Act maintains the price stability in the economy by laying out regulations for direct taxes. It's saying that one, the direct tax, it's going to give the support for the concept in that one to have a constant prices in the economy of the society. Full employment. This act provides to reduce the income tax rates in order to promote higher demand for goods and services. This in turn leads to increased employment opportunities, thus fulfilling the objective of full employment here. If they're saying that when if I reduce the tax and if I support to the public and even the business people who are earning income by trading activities or transferring goods or services, if I reduce tax to those people, so they are going to create some employment opportunity for the society, and even in the country, there will be no problem of employment issues. Non-revenue object, the higher tax rate is applicable wealthy people compared to the poor. In this way, the income tax encourages a progressive taxation. They're saying that one. So based on your income, how much you're earning, based on that, you have to pay the tax here. Higher the income, higher the tax you have to pay. Lower the income, low tax you pay. This is called progressive taxation in the society. The next, we have cyclical fluctuation control, where when there is an economic boom, the income tax rates are increased, while in the times of recession, it is reduced. In this way, the Act maintains control over cyclical fluctuation of value of money. It is nothing but they're saying that based on the environmental changes here, they're going to support to the taxpayers. If it is required, the amount they're going to collect. If it is not required, they'll not collect. And if there is any issues in the entire nation, so then they're going to support for the people to reducing the tax concept for the people here. Instead of paying huge taxes, they can pay less taxes due to the climatical or cyclical changes what it has happened in the society. Reducing balance of payment issues, the tax imposes customs duties on the import of certain goods. This helps the encourage domestic production of goods, thereby reducing the balance of payment difficulties for the authorities. So when I encourage the people to have the export and import business here, so when we are collecting the other type of duties or charges from the business people here, so it reduces the balance of payment, and even it encourages the small business people to enter into the business sector. The features of Income Tax Act is that it is very simple. Income tax is a form of direct taxes. The central government of India controls the form of taxation. The entire taxation is controlled by the central government of India. It is applicable to the taxpayer of income which is earned in the previous year. For us, the current previous year is 23-24. Whatever the income we have earned in 23-24, that income we have to pay the tax to the government. Tax calculation is applicable based on the assessor's income tax slab. They're saying that based on your income, you have to pay the tax to the government. Like for example, up to 2,50,000, there is no tax. It is 0%. So 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, I have to pay 5%. So wherever I fall in the slab rate, based on that, I have to pay the tax to the government. This is the concept what we have here. Deductions apply to a maximum limit per financial year in certain cases. They're saying that one, in certain cases, the maximum limit of deduction, whatever is there, that be allowed for the taxpayer, and the benefit will be given for the taxpayer, and later on, whatever the income is left out after providing all deductions, that is called taxable income. On that taxable income, he has to pay tax according to the slab rate. Provisions what we have here. So Section 268 to the High Court and Section 261 to the Supreme Court. The appeal under Section 260 is related for the High Court, and the remaining will be Supreme Court. Annual information and financial transaction statements should be given. Appearance of an authorized representative in income taxability, undertaking transactions mode, assessing tax authority, instructions to subordinate authorities, appeal application for reference by the income tax officer. These are the major provisions as per the Income Tax Act of 1961. The first one, Section 268 and 261 for High Court and Supreme Court. Annual information and financial transaction statement should be provided by all the taxpayers. Appearance by the authorized representative. They're saying that one, if in case if any issues are there, the main person who has taken the responsibility and authorized person should be representative for the providing information in case if there is any default. Undertaking transactions mode. So what type of transaction modes they have taken here? Cash or credit and other payment concepts, whatever they have here. Assessing tax authorities. So the people going to assess the tax of the individuals or the business people, and what are their roles and responsibilities will be a concept here. And next, instruction to subordinate authorities. Assessing tax authorities will provide all the information to the subordinate, what is their work and how they have to calculate, and what are the information they have to check, and what concepts has to be considered and what concepts should be not to be considered while calculating the income as well as tax of the individual. Already we have paid the tax to the government. If there is any excess amount is it, that should be refunded. If any shortfall of the amount is it, they have to collect it from the taxpayer. Appeal application for reference by the income tax officer. So the concept of if there is any issues, so where the income tax officer is going to provide certain applications for the people to fill that one and provide the details according to the requirement of the Income Tax Act. In the next session, we are going to discuss about gross total income and the total income and even the other concepts, whatever we have in the Unit 1. Thank you to all 5th Sem BCom students. In today's session, we learned about the principles of taxation.